The ground beneath California is restless. Recently, earthquake swarms have reminded us of this. These tremors occurred off the coast of Northern California. They happened near the northern tip of the San Andreas Fault. This is a constant reminder of the forces at play. We live on a dynamic planet. The Earth is always changing, always moving. These small quakes are like whispers before a potential shout. Scientists warn of the big one. This term refers to a powerful, devastating earthquake. The probability of such an event is rising. The recent swarms, with one quake reaching magnitude 4.6, act as unsettling precursors. They remind us that the clock is ticking. The question is not if, but when. Why is California so prone to earthquakes? The answer lies deep within the Earth. Giant sections of Earth's crust, called tectonic plates, drift. They grind against each other. California sits at the boundary of two such massive plates. The Pacific Plate and the North American Plate are in constant conflict. This relentless movement builds immense stress in the rocks. When that stress is released, the ground shakes violently. This is the genesis of an earthquake. We cannot stop these colossal forces, but we can prepare. The Earth speaks, and we must learn its language. The San Andreas Fault is a scar on the face of California. It stretches for about 800 miles. This colossal fault line runs through densely populated areas. It has a history of unleashing massive earthquakes. The San Andreas is a constant source of concern for seismologists. It is a geological titan, temporarily slumbering. Its awakening could reshape landscapes and lives. Scientists estimate the San Andreas Fault causes a major quake roughly every 150 years. The last such event on a significant southern portion was the Fort Tejon earthquake in 1857. That was over 167 years ago. This means the fault is significantly overdue for another major release of energy. Stress has been accumulating along this fault for decades. It is like a coiled spring, wound tighter and tighter. This stored energy will eventually be unleashed. If the big one, a magnitude 7.8 earthquake or higher, were to strike the San Andreas, the consequences would be catastrophic. Experts predict devastating numbers. Approximately 1,800 people could lose their lives. The San Andreas Fault is an active and potent threat. While the San Andreas often grabs headlines, it is not the only threat. The lesser-known Hayward Fault presents a significant danger, particularly to the San Francisco Bay Area. This fault runs along the foot of the East Bay Hills. It cuts directly through heavily urbanized regions. Cities like Oakland, Berkeley, Hayward, and Fremont are built upon or near it. Millions of people live and work in its shadow. The Hayward Fault has a violent history. Its last major earthquake, a magnitude 6.8 event, struck on October 21, 1868. This powerful quake caused significant damage in the then sparsely populated Bay Area. Scientists diligently monitor the Hayward Fault. They have found it produces major earthquakes approximately every 140 years. As of 2025, it has been 157 years since its last major rupture in 1868. This means the Hayward Fault is also critically overdue. Its overdue status and location make it a top concern for seismic hazard. The Hayward Fault is a significant threat to the region. Predicting the exact time and place of an earthquake remains beyond our current scientific capabilities. However, scientists can make forecasts based on probabilities. The US Geological Survey, USGS, uses historical data, geological mapping, and computer models. Their work provides vital information for planning and preparedness. Sarah Minson of the USGS states the probability of the big one hitting the San Francisco Bay Area is 72% by 2055. California faces a high probability of damaging earthquakes in the near future. Section 5. Echoes from the Past. California's destructive quake history. California's history is punctuated by powerful earthquakes. These events have shaped its landscape and its people. The 1906 San Francisco earthquake was a monumental disaster. It registered a magnitude of approximately 7.9. Fires raged for days, consuming vast swaths of the city. Ruptured gas lines and broken water mains hampered firefighting efforts. It was a catastrophe on an epic scale. An estimated 3,000 people perished. Hundreds of thousands were left homeless. Around 80% of the city's buildings were destroyed. San Francisco was a city in ruins. This event seared itself into the collective memory of California. It became a benchmark for earthquake disasters. The recovery was long and arduous. It underscored the vulnerability of urban centers to seismic fury. More recently, Californians experienced the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. This magnitude 6.9 quake struck the San Francisco Bay Area during the World Series. While less powerful than the 1906 event, its impact was severe and widespread. It caused 63 deaths and nearly 4,000 injuries. Iconic structures suffered damage. A section of the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge collapsed. These historical earthquakes are not just chapters in a history book. They provide invaluable lessons for today. Section 6. The scale of shaking, major tremblers versus frequent tremors. When we think of California earthquakes, the big one often dominates the conversation. This focus on a single, catastrophic event is understandable. Its potential for devastation is immense. However, USGS scientist Sarah Minson offers a crucial perspective. She points out that while the big one is a major concern, we must also consider smaller, more frequent quakes. These less dramatic events can collectively pose a significant risk over time. It's a matter of cumulative impact. Minson uses a compelling analogy to illustrate this point. Focusing solely on the big one is like obsessing over rare shark attacks. Shark attacks are frightening but kill an average of only 5 people per year globally. Meanwhile, a more common hazard, like encounters with cows, results in an average of 22 deaths per year in the United States alone. The lesson is clear. We must not let the fear of the rare mega event overshadow the persistent threat of more common moderate events. Smaller quakes are far more numerous. Therefore, California's earthquake preparedness strategy must be comprehensive. The earth rumbles in many magnitudes. Section 7. Bracing for the inevitable, essential steps for earthquake preparedness. We cannot prevent earthquakes. The geological forces are too immense, but we are not helpless. We can take proactive steps to mitigate their impact. Preparedness is our most powerful tool against seismic threats. It empowers individuals, families, and communities. Taking action now can make a significant difference when the ground starts to shake. This preparation begins at home. It involves planning and assembling resources. Every step taken improves safety and resilience. A cornerstone of earthquake preparedness is an emergency supply kit. This kit should contain essentials to survive for several days without assistance. Water is paramount, 1 gallon per person per day for at least 3 days. Non-perishable food is also crucial. Include a first aid kit, a flashlight with extra batteries, and a whistle to signal for help. Don't forget medications, sanitation supplies, and a multi-purpose tool. Provisions for pets are also important. Communication will be challenging after a major earthquake. Develop a family communication plan. The time to prepare is now, before the earth trembles. Section 8. Beyond the shaking, the cascading consequences of a megaquake. The immediate shaking of a major earthquake is only the beginning of the crisis. The aftermath can bring a cascade of secondary disasters. Fires are a significant threat. Ruptured gas lines and downed power lines can ignite blazes. Broken water mains will hinder firefighting efforts, as seen in 1906. If the earthquake occurs offshore or triggers underwater landslides, tsunamis can inundate coastal areas. Steep slopes, destabilized by shaking, can lead to devastating landslides. These secondary effects multiply the danger. A large earthquake will severely disrupt essential services. Access to clean water may be lost. Power outages could last for days or even weeks. Natural gas lines might be shut off for safety, affecting heating and cooking. Communication systems, including internet and phone services, are likely to be overwhelmed or damaged. Roads, bridges, and railways could be impassable. This breakdown of infrastructure paralyzes transportation and the delivery of aid. The economic impact of a major quake will be immense and long-lasting. Society itself will be tested. Section 9. A call to action, living responsibly on shifting ground. The earthquake threat in California is not a matter of speculation. It is a geological certainty. The Earth's tectonic plates continue their relentless dance. Stress accumulates along ancient faults. This is the unyielding reality of living in this beautiful but seismically active region. The question is not if another major earthquake will strike, but when and where. This understanding should not lead to fear, but to respect for nature's power. It should motivate us to act responsibly. Our scientific understanding of earthquakes is constantly advancing. Seismologists, engineers, and emergency planners work tirelessly. They refine hazard maps, improve building codes, and develop early warning systems. While we cannot predict quakes with pinpoint accuracy, science provides us with invaluable insights. It tells us about probabilities. It highlights vulnerabilities. It guides our preparedness efforts. We are not navigating this threat blindly. Knowledge is our ally in this ongoing challenge.